everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Stock Market Review. My name is Ludwig, and this is the Lueb channel. Thank you for those of you who are here already and ready to rock and roll. Everyone knows how this goes. What we're going to do today, once again, is go into technical analysis for all the indices like SPY, Qs. Also check out the VIX and Bitcoin and ETH. This is what we do every single day here. Tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow is the big day. Will the Fed crash the market or will they push us up? And all that depends on what Jerome Powell says. Not only whether or not we get a cut, but it is heavily depends on what exactly does he say. Are we getting what everyone is calling maybe a hawkish type of cut, meaning we're getting a cut and they're going to say they're going to pause. We're not getting a cut in January, and maybe we don't even know when we're getting the next one. Or is it going to be something where it's like, hey, we're cutting and we're just gonna see how the data goes, yada yada, and stuff like that. What we hoping is not only to have a 25 basis point cut, which is what's most likely going to happen, but to have that and have Jerome Powell be actually very dovish. We want the Fed to sweet talk us into an all-time high, because that's the momentum that we actually need. If you've been in the market the past few days, one thing you would notice is the past few days we haven't had much volume. Volume has been really really low over the past few days, and we just like in the range bouncing up and down. You're going to see exactly what things look like as we get into the chart a little further. Right now, what I'm all I'm seeing is the market just trying to figure out, hey, I'm gonna give you guys some opportunities, right? Maybe on the way up, for you can get something real quick doing a day trade. But if you're doing a swing, you're probably still flat. Probably still flat. If you in any swing trade, it doesn't seem like the market has done anything. But what we're going to do is go into the charts real quick. Again, I'll have to say that, guys, just so everyone knows. Nothing I say is not everything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. Trading can carry a lot of risk, including loss of capital. Make sure you do your own research. Anything you're doing, base that on your own reasoning and your own technical analysis. But what I do here is try to showcase exactly what I'm doing and what I think the market might do. This is all for education purposes. And guys, let's get into it. If you here, by the way, if you haven't done so, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure you share that video with somebody that can benefit from it. As we talk about that, let's make sure we start digging in. I'm not gonna hold you guys too long, right? Oh, sorry about that. That's the wrong screen. Okay, there you go. Beautiful. What we have here, this is the ones you guys going to see. For those of you that has been um, on this with me every single night and seeing the review, this is still the exact same levels that we've already drawn up. That's currently in on the chart right now. I'm going to take off a few things just to make sure that this stays a bit more. Actually, you know what? Let's just do that, right? It's not like this is something we cannot draw again. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put them back and just remove some of these. Okay, beautiful. Let's put back the 21. Okay, we have the 21. Let's put the not back the 9 and May. Right here. Okay. What are we looking at? What are we seeing, folks? What exactly are we seeing? I believe when the market did what it did, when it started moving up, right? I said it seems like what we are building at the time from here, big drop to support, push up, big drop to support. I said, hey, seems like we're doing a double bottom, right? That's what gave me the confidence to buy. And then again, what was it? That was exactly a double bottom. Apologies, guys. Everyone, you guys know, for those of you that's been here, you guys know I do have a son, and this man likes to play around. I let him run around. You know, but going back into the chart, what are we seeing? I called this out already. I said, hey, it seems like we're forming some sort of inverted inverted head and shoulder pattern. But at the time, we had the left shoulder already formed, but we didn't have this yet. This is why I didn't have any conviction that this move, right? So if I just remove those from the chart, this is why I didn't think we were going to continue to push up non-stop. And that's exactly what's sort of playing out. I did believe we needed to spend a little more time here, do a bit of consolidation to actually form the right shoulder. And this is exactly what I'm seeing happening. So, as currently, if we're looking at the day, right, we see that level of resistance is still holding. All it did was went to the major resistance level. See if I just take this off. It just went back to that daily level, just hit it, and push right back down. Right? That's literally all that happens. Nothing that's surprising or anything like that. We just cannot take that level yet. I do believe for us to take that level, we will need John Powell to say something. Fair warning, sometimes, the market takes a couple of days to actually digest what's going on and which direction stocks are going to go. So it wouldn't surprise me. Let's see if I go down in the 2 hours. It would not surprise me if tomorrow, like right when Jerome Powell come out and he starts speaking, for us to make that move, come here, bounce here, and then make that move. That would not surprise me at all. As a matter of fact, that's the move I think we might make. I think we might make that move. I think that would be a much stronger move if we make that. It will be painful for some of you guys. I know that. I know you don't want to hear it, but that pain will set us up for a nice rally. Because as of right now, we have bulls are trapped right up there. Remember, or was it a couple of days ago I was telling you guys like the bulls are trapped? Yes, we are. Let me not say we, it was not me. I'm not in the. I still have spy calls, but these are things I bought a while back, so I'm still positive in those. But people who came in and thought we were getting a breakout around this level, right now they are trapped. They trapped in there. There's nothing to do. And if you're looking at that, if we draw this, what did the market do? Really, it just did a lower high and rejecting right on that trend line. That's all that's happening. So we have that trend line here, and we're rejecting. And guess what? If we want to draw this, right? If we want to draw this bit of a trend line up there, you can see this is precisely where we're going, right? Like right now, we're right at the trend line sitting there. Okay. Um, so that's what we're looking at when it comes to the SPY. If we want to go a little bit, was there any opportunities today for somebody to trade? Yes, there was. There was some opportunities to trade. We had a bit of a breakout. If you waited a little bit, that breakout didn't last long. Because what we did seems like, hey, we went down. I was looking at that. Boom, we did this. Pull back, did a double bottom, and right around that break above that level, I got in, and ultimately I got out right at that right at that level. And then the market completely just gave out. That's what happened. Again, the market is currently in a state where you don't stay in for long. Whatever you can get, you take it, and you won. You won. You don't stay. This is not a place where you just go and stay right now. You get what you can get because again, for those of you who may not see it, right? This was the 30 minutes. If you didn't see what happened, why did I get at that level? I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just doing what the chart is telling me. Okay, so You can see when the move happened here, right? Right on that level. Let me zoom in so everybody can see it. Right here. This is the 30 minutes right now. This push up, you can see buyers push that up and sellers say, nah, that's not happening. Sellers push it back down. Buyers try it again, sellers push it back down, right? And we have that again. All right, so that's on the macro or on the micro level. But if you want to take a quick look, and you're gonna see, for those of you that's watching, you might look at that and say, "Oh my goodness, why? How come I did not really see that?" And whatever. But if you look at that in the 30 minutes and you really draw it out, what do we see here? Easy pattern, guys. Easy pattern. What do we see here? This was a double top. That's what happens. The difference in trading is recognizing patterns as they are forming, right? So that's why it's great for you to do your homework, show up, find the levels. So when something happens, it doesn't surprise you, right? You can see what's happening. It doesn't surprise you when it's happening, so you because you can absolutely see it. And for those of you not really familiar with what a double top is. I know some of you do know what that is. I understand that some of you guys are seasoned traders, but some people are not. So therefore, I'm gonna go on Google um, and put double top pattern, and this is how I recognize that pattern. That pattern, guys. This is nothing you know, whatever. Just if you have the experience, you've been trading for a while, you see those patterns, you automatically, like you see those patterns and you know exactly what you're looking at. I'm just gonna hover over this one because it's easier to see it. See there you go, there it is, right? You can see it. That's one, two, that's a double top, and then we typically break down. If you look at that, this is exactly what we did here, right? If you're looking at that, you have this is the first stop, and we came here. This is the second. Don't worry too much about whether or not the stock was able to push up and there's a long wick at the top, or maybe it's slightly higher. That's just a false breakout. But ultimately, if you're looking at that, this would be sort of like your resistance zone, right? Right here is your resistance zone, and we never break above the resistance zone. That's it. That's literally all that happened. Not very complicated. You guys can see it. Um, my goal with this channel is as I'm doing that, hopefully for some of you guys as you continue in your journey of trading, is that you are learning these things, and when you're seeing them, you're no longer getting to a point where you're saying, "Damn, I cannot believe." I lost that trade, or this didn't go the way I wanted it to go, and whatever, and whatnot. But you can see it. I mean, of course, when I bought in, I went long because I was thinking, hey, maybe we might be able to push up. I went long, although I didn't get full TP, meaning full profit, on that trade, but that was a winning trade, right? Once we got to that level, I took about half off, and whatever. So and I put my stop loss as a trail stop, and then it pretty much stopped me out. So all that drop that happens toward the end of the day cost me absolutely nothing. I was out of the market. I was in. I got green. I got out. I didn't get greedy. I didn't stick around and stick for long. All right. Um, let's see. That's the SPY, guys. Let's see. Let's take a quick look at our good old friend Bitcoin. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing. Okay, we already have those levels on Bitcoin. I'm just gonna walk off those same levels that we had. Right? That's that major resistance level. We finally seems like we're taking it. What are we doing again? We just made a. Let me just make sure I get that. Okay. So what did we do here again? We just made a higher. We just make higher highs, right? I mean higher lows. I'm sorry, guys. Higher lows. There you go. Okay, you have a low here, you have a higher low, You have a bit of a higher low. It didn't come all the way down to touch the trend line, but it doesn't have to, right? It doesn't have to come touch the trend line. As long as we stay above the trend, we're good. This is like that's the micro trend. We have the big trend is that's the blue line, or at that level, right? I believe that's the weekly trend line that's here. Yeah, that's the weekly trend line that's here. And right now we this is still being respected. So that is good. That is really good. So if we do break above and can reclaim these things, we can really make a push way up to that level. I'll say around by next year at some point, I do think we will touch 150. I'm not one of those people that says, hey, if we do go to 250 like everybody calling, I'm okay with it. I would love that. But where I think we're going is probably 150. And keep in mind, as soon as we get to 125, that's like a psychological level. A lot of people will try to get out at 125. That's just psychological level. It's just one of those things that happens. All right, let's see. If I go back on Bitcoin in the 4 hours on Bitcoin, what are we seeing here again? You can say we just made a bit of a of a double bottom on Bitcoin. That's the good thing, and we push up. But now the most recent um, uh, pattern I'm seeing in Bitcoin right now, most recent pattern I'm seeing, if we're looking at the 4 hours right now, we can say I'm seeing a flag, right? This is a bull flag being formed. But just keep in mind again, guys. Look at these levels, right? We currently, that's where we went today. We went to touch a resistance level. This is not a major level, but it's still a minor resistance level. As you can see, we having a hard time passing that level. But here's the thing: head and shoulder pattern does not have to be exactly something that is flat, right? By flat, I mean it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. It might be slightly tilted, and I'm going to show that on the chart. It might be slightly tilted when you have the head and shoulder pattern, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. Going back right to the chart, so if we want to look at that way, that means what do we have? We sort of have here. You can say we have in a head and shoulder pattern. This is the head right here, right? That's our head. So this is what we have, a head and shoulder pattern. But then again, um, we don't know what's gonna happen until John Powell and come out and say his piece. And I'm sorry again, guys. I do hope we do a bit of a pullback, go test a support level to build that strong support level, to get that momentum, go scoop up that momentum so we can move up. Okay, if we take a quick look at um, right now at ETH, I have exciting news for you guys for ETH. We have finally reclaimed the trend line. We have reclaimed the trend line on ETH. We have reclaimed that trend line. That that is very good news. That is very good news because for the longest, all this thing was doing seems like we're just going to do a retest and then just drop again. Um, but right now, what are we doing again? We're doing higher highs, and now we are actually above the trend line. It did pull back a bit. I would have preferred we got a bigger bullish candle, but at least we have taken the trend line. So that is once again that's very good news, and I'm really liking that. If you look at our MACD is pointing up. We're still not positive yet. We're still not positive in the MACD yet. So we're still waiting for that to happen. So momentum is building, and we have volume is increasing. You can see here, it's a little hard to see in here, but volume is increasing. which are all great stuff happening for us here. Okay, now let's take a quick look at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq actually performs so much better than the S&P today. Okay. All right. While the S&P went to the resistance line and completely dropped, the Nasdaq did something a little different. Let me remove those so we make it clean. The Nasdaq did something a little bit differently, right? And this is one thing for you guys who day trade, something you can do in your day trading, right? This is some real game. This is some real game right now. If you day trading, here's something very simple you can do. Find, draw the high and the low of the previous day close, so which was yesterday, and more often than not, this is what typically happens, right? If we open, let's say we have a big wick, if we open whatever gap up or whatever it is, we visit the lows. If we don't break below and we bounce, we get a reversal, right? Typically we will visit that and then we push back up. That's typically what happens, right? Or the other way around that could happen is we'll go visit the highs. If we don't break, we get the bearish signal, right? At resistance, bearish pattern, and then we typically go into drop. That's an easy way to trade. If you day trading, it's an easy way to trade the spies and pretty much any stocks. Find the high and the lows of yesterday's, and just find the pattern whether at the highs or the lows of the previous day. Some that these areas, the stock will react in those areas. Either it's going to bounce or it's going to tank. And during that thinking period, when I say by thinking, it may be like $3, $4, but if you're trading options, that's enough. $3, $4 drop or $3, $4 pop on option, that's enough. But anyway, if we're looking at what overall what it did, we actually let me just put those right back in. Because if we're actually looking at that, it went to test the lows, right? If we open right here, when it tests the lows, bounce, and we actually close on a bullish candle, I mean, on a very bullish candle, we actually close near the resistance level. Now, here's the big difference between the SPY and the Qs. The SPYs already break this trend line. We're already out here right now. On the SPY, this is the level we're challenging. Let me just draw that real quick. On the SPY, we're challenging this level. The chart seems very similar. Let me show you real quick so you can see, right? On the SPY, we're currently challenging the high, literally challenging the high. On the Qs, we more like so if I were to draw that exact trend line, which you're going to see, right? On the Qs, we more like around this level, still, right? So let's go back on the Qs and see what I have on the right now on the Qs. Yeah. The SPY challenging the all-time high. The Qs still have work to do, but the Qs are setting up very nicely. If you're looking at that, we're sitting right on top of the 9 EMA. That's what the Qs went to check. The Qs went to check the 9 EMA. Okay. See. Now, let's go and take a quick look at the at gold, GLD. A goal, man, goal is giving us. I think goal is playing with us. If we're being honest, goal is goal say they don't want to leave any spot. Is it possible for this to actually just instead of making a move and choosing a direction to make another one more candle in this little rising triangle? We'll see. But as we can see, if you trade gold, I'll say be very careful around this area because what we're seeing here is a lot of weakness. We are seeing a lot of weakness. Like you have some tapping tails and whatever. As you can see, those red candles are bigger than the green candles, right? And we are under that support level. But either way, we either going to make a pop, make a move up, or we're going to drop. What's going to be? I don't know. What am I doing currently with gold? I'm doing absolutely nothing. Why am I doing nothing? Because I don't have any direction. I have no direction. And I know I keep saying that, by the way, guys. If you here, please drop a like. Drop a like. Let's help me spread this channel, man. Share the video with anybody else. If you have any comments, please let me know. One thing I'm going to do, we have about 2 minutes left. I'm going to cover the VIX. And if you have a stock I haven't reviewed yet over the past few days, you'd like to drop you'd like to drop in the chart, or you have a specific question about trading you'd like to ask, feel free to send those to the chat. I'm watching the chat, so if you ask any questions, I will see it. Okay. If we're looking at the VIX, what are we seeing in the VIX? Once again, we still went to the 9 EMA, and the 9 EMA is holding, right? And just like we are seeing all these things when it comes to the upward move, if we're looking at the VIX, what we're doing in the VIX is like a bear flag. That's what we're doing because right now it's still below the 90 MA. The MACD is negative. Um, there's not really much going on. And again, whatever John Powell says tomorrow, that's what's gonna happen, right? Whatever they wanna come and do a hawkish type of press conference. If he does that, I do believe the market is going down. But if he does come in and he's a complete dove and hey, we sing kumbaya, which would be great, I think the market will rally. But just a reminder, once again, guys, I want to remind you, everyone again. Let me just make sure I get that close up so everybody can really pay attention to this. The market typically take about 1 to 2 days to digest stock decisions, right? 1 to 2 days. So just because the market might go up tomorrow does not mean it's going to keep rallying up. A lot of people get trapped like that. Just because it went down tomorrow doesn't mean the market will continue to go down, right? So don't get so don't FOMO in and say, hey, I don't want to miss the move. There's always going to be a pullback. Okay, the market do not go to the sky. The market always do pullback. It's okay if you miss the first leg on a move and then you take the second leg. More often than not, about 80-85% of the time anyway, the second leg is typically a bigger move than the first leg anyway. All right. So trade smart, be smart, guys. That's my advice to everyone. Be smart, protect your money. Above all else, is about protecting your capital. The biggest thing in the market is not everybody's going to lose. It's just a matter of how much you lose when you lose and how much you win when you win. That's one of the biggest difference in the stock market. And above all else, you protect you protect your capital. Just sometimes there's times where it's like, hey, it doesn't matter what you buy, they're going up. We've all been in those days. We've all been in those days every single time. And but one thing I would say again, depending on how things go, even if the Fed is dovish tomorrow, still be careful. But if I do believe if they are dovish, we will go up. But I don't want you to get overly excited and just feel like you need to buy something, you need to be in something, and whatnot. You don't have to do that. The thing is, with the S&P, sometimes when it's making a move, the move is actually vicious, especially when QT quantitative tightening has ended or we start QE. Typically, those moves, I actually went back today to check that. There's typically a rally in the market of about, I think the average is about 12%. That's the average. Is that move going to happen? I don't know. The chart is not telling me that yet, right? So I trade the chart. It's not telling me that yet. So I cannot say what's going to happen. But what I can tell you I'm going to do is watch the levels. And when my levels hit, right? When my levels hit, I'm going to pounce. I trust my levels. This is how I trade. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's okay. But you have to trust your levels. I have paid dearly for that, not trusting my levels and see something I should have bought at a specific level. I didn't get it, or I didn't wait out patiently enough to see exactly what was going to happen, and I got overly excited. I went in. I just went in very early, and then the things reversed or whatever it may be, or I missed it, whatever it may be. So trust your levels. Stay green. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I will be here again tomorrow, and for those of you in the community, there will be a link. There will be a link in this video for the community on WhatsApp. It is a free to join in. Right, there is a paid room where I give my signals, but you can be part of the community and network with other traders. This is not something that you pay for. I do drop some gems every now and then, some motivational stuff every now and then, and whatever. But you are free to converse with other traders and exchange ideas. But for those of you that are paid members, I'm about to switch over right now to the teams meeting. So switch over. That's where I go and I break down specific charts, levels I'm looking at, where to get in, where to get out on specific things, what we're currently in, and what I'm waiting to pounce on. Again, guys, thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure just doing this for you guys every single night, man. It's been fun. I have to say it's been really fun. Anyway, let's see what happens tomorrow. I wish everyone best of luck. But either way, let me know if you made some money today. Let me know if you made some money today, man. I know some of you guys are killing it out there. And tomorrow after the market, we'll be here. We'll be live. I may go live midday tomorrow, right after the meeting, the press conference. I might go live. I'll keep you guys posted. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Because if I go live, you don't wanna miss that. You don't wanna miss that. All right, guys. I'll see you again tomorrow. Peace out.